G'day guys, Tim here from beforeyoubet.com.au here to preview the final day of the 2019 Flemington Racing Carnival. It's Group 1 Mackinnon Stakes Day on Saturday the 9th of November. Of course, also featuring the Group 1 Darley Sprint Classic over the 1200 metres for the sprinters. We've got 9 races in total to close out the carnival. It's currently a good 4 at Flemington, but there is rain predicted throughout the day, and I do think we'll get to the soft range, if not worse. The rail moves out to the 9 metre position, and we need to close out the carnival with some winners. We'll take a look at both Group 1 features on the cards, as well as my best bets at both Flemington and Rosehill. And as always, you can head to beforeyoubet.com.au and you can find my race-by-race preview of both meetings. We'll get stuck straight in. The first Group 1 on the card is the Group 1 Darley Sprint Classic. It's race number 5 on the card over 1200 metres for the sprinters. And I'm with the favourite number 1, Santa Ana Lane here, who comes off a second placing in the Everest last start. With a bit more luck, he may have challenged the winner a little bit closer. The winner was Yes, Yes, Yes. We've seen how strong that 3-year-old form has proven so far this spring. And I think that's a really decent form line, of course, dropping back to what looks a little bit of a weaker race on paper this time around. He's third up from a spell here. I don't think he's been overtaxed this preparation, so I think he's still going to be peaking right at his very best for this race. We know he goes well down the Flemington Straight. We know he goes well on soft ground. He was a 3.5 length winner of the TJ Smith Stakes last preparation on a soft 7 at Randwick. So the rain's not going to hinder his chances one bit. I think he's the best horse in this race, and I think with even luck, he should be finishing hard over the top of them to win. He's currently around $2.40. I think that's a relatively reasonable price for him. The only danger in the race, I think, is number 9, Loving Gabby. She's a $7 chance, and I'm happy to take that price. I'm happy to back them both. We saw her last start winning the Group 1 Mackinnon Stakes at Moonee Valley. She was a 3-year-old at weight for age conditions on that occasion, so she carried 51.5 kilos, and she does the same today, carries the same weight under the same weight conditions. I think she'll prove hard to beat because I think Santa Ana Lane has most of the others in the field covered, but she's a little bit of the X factor in this race. She, of course, didn't race in the Everest. She brings a different form line to the race. And I think with that lightweight on her back, the stable's flying, the rider's flying, and she could be the biggest challenger to Santa Ana Lane. So $7 looks a reasonably good price. I'm pretty happy to take everything else on in the race. I think those are the only 2 that are worth focusing on. And so hopefully we can get the result of the Group 1 Darley Sprint Classic there. The next Group 1 on the card, of course, is the Group 1 Mackinnon Stakes. It's race number 8 on the card over 2,000 metres. This, much like many other races on the card, is a very, very wide open betting race. We see the favourite is the Kiwi mare Melody Bell. She's a 10-time Group 1 winner. She was the last start winner of the Group 1 Empire Rose Stakes last Saturday on Derby Day. She backs up quickly here on the one-way back up into the Mackinnon Stakes, stepping up to 2,000 metres. She's undefeated from 2 starts at this distance, and the more it rains, the better her chances are. She's an absolute swimmer on wet ground. It's been a while since a mare's won this race, but not many mares over the years have been 10-time Group 1 winners coming off a Group 1 win just a week prior. So, of course, she stands a very good chance. In terms of the betting, I thought number 8, Kingswood Dream, stood a very good chance at $11. He drops out of the Cox Plate. We've seen that race prove a strong form reference for this race over the last few years or so. And I think he's one that can come out of the Cox Plate and really find his best form here. He was a Group 1 winner just 2 starts ago here at Flemington. Overall, he's had 6 starts at this track for 3 wins and 2 minor placings. James McDonald takes the ride. The wet ground would pose no problem for him. So as long as he gets a decent enough run from his barrier, I think he can be very competitive at each way odds. Again, it's a wide open race. The chances don't end there. You can head to beforeyoubet.com.au. You can find my race-by-race preview, and I've highlighted all the runners of interest to me in the Group 1 Mackinnon Stakes. Getting into our best bets of the day, my best bet at Flemington comes up in race number 4, and it's horse number 5, True Self, at around $2.05, $2.10. I think she's one of the best bets of the day and one of the best bets of the entire carnival, in fact. We saw her make her Australian debut in the Geelong Cup just a couple of weeks ago, where she ran second to Prince of Arran. With a bit more luck in the straight, she probably would have won that race. We then saw Prince of Arran come out on Tuesday and run second in the Melbourne Cup, so we know that's a decent form reference. She's had 5 starts when second up from a spell. She's never finished out of the top 2. She absolutely loves the wet ground. She's had 6 wins from 9 starts on soft ground. Champion jockey Ryan Moore is booked for the ride today. She draws barrier 1. Willie Mullins will have her spot on. I think she's quite clearly the horse to beat. And I think anything over even money is a pretty decent price, to be honest. My best value bet of the day comes up in the lucky last, race number 9. Now, wouldn't this be a way to go out with a bang for the carnival? It's horse number 6, More Wanted. He's a $31 chance. He's paying $8.50 for the place. I think that's an absolutely ludicrous price. Peter Chow trains him. Damien Lane is booked for the ride. This horse has had 5 starts when first up from a spell, but the important thing to note out of those is that his past 3 first up runs have resulted in 2 wins and a second placing. He's had 4 starts at Flemington. He's won one of those and finished second on 2 occasions. His only start at this track and distance was a second placing to Parsifal. That's a very good form line, I think. Peter Chow and Damien Lane, they've teamed up 17 times. 8 times they've finished in the top 2. So when Peter Chow books Damien Lane, it's generally for a very good reason. I think this horse is crazy odds. He won't worry if it's good ground or soft ground. He'll go in whatever it is. And I think at $31 and $8.50 for the place, he is an absolutely ridiculous price, and hopefully he can send us home out of the carnival with a long-priced winner. Over at Rosehill, I've also cast my eye over one that's at big odds. She's a $19 chance. It's race number 7 in the Group 2 feature of the day. It's horse number 12, NICCI'S Gold. She wasn't beaten that far first up from a spell. She was beaten less than 2 lengths by the likes of Madame Rouge and Reelman Ruby, who are really high up in the betting market for this race. But importantly, she's had 7 starts from first up from a spell and is only placed on 1 occasion. However, when she's second up from a spell, she's had 6 starts for 4 wins. So she really bounces out of that first up run and really improves into her second up run. She comes into this second up today, so they've targeted it very strategically, I think, and at the right stage of her preparation. She probably goes a bit better on soft ground rather than good ground, but she did run the fastest final 400 metres of the race first up on a good 3. So I'm hoping it's not too much of a hindrance to her, because I think second up from a spell here, she's right in this at $19. That's race 7, number 12, NICCI'S Gold. Head to beforeyoubet.com.au. You can find all of my selections for the day and for the upcoming weeks. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck today.